That's right. Welcome, welcome. Pull up a bar stool, have a seat.
So tonight's show is about lobster and limoncello. So at Christmas, we made, actually in November, we made some Myers lemon limoncello. So I thought we'd try some cocktails with that tonight. And what goes better with lemon than lobster? So, honey, why don't you come over and talk about what you're doing?
All right, sorry, I had to throw something in the oven there. Tonight I am making lobster mac and cheese. I picked up a couple of 2¼ pound lobsters down from Superior Seafoods. Matt helped me pick them out. We looked at about a dozen before we found the 2 perfect female lobsters. One of them I'm going to take just the tail and broil that. So I'll pull that out in a second. Because Shannon's not doing any carbs. So yeah. The mac and cheese, it was a lot of fun. It was easy to make, actually. It was super, super simple. It's a few ingredients, but it's not very complicated. And a little funny story about it is I boiled up or steamed up the lobsters. I got everything all mixed up. And I had it all into the baking dish. And I look over and I had all the cheese still sitting there, but it tasted so good. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to dump it in there or not. So,
but that doesn't make it mac and cheese.
Yeah, it just makes it mac and lobster.
Yeah,
lobster mac. So I did dump in the cheese. I always modify my recipes. I added pepper jack and some fontina, some cheddar, and some mozzarella. They called just for cheddar and mozzarella, but I kind of mixed it up. And then recipes to me are sort of a guide. I always substitute or add in or change it up a little bit. So then I had a habanero pepper over there. So I diced up a little bit of that into there. And it just tastes really good. So
I might have to have one bite.
Maybe, we'll see. I did promise Chris that he could have some, so we'll see what's left. So
why don't you tell him about how you had to hack the recipe?
Yes.
Because when do you not make lobster mac and cheese? When lobster's not really in season.
Yes. Yeah, lobster is a little expensive today, only because it's that time of the year. And I believe these are Canadian hard shells that I got versus some local ones that I usually get from Kestel. And that is Pete and Cara. And I usually get my lobsters from them down off of the boat ramp. And I definitely missed getting lobsters from those guys. So, yeah, the 2 lobsters plus the tail, I had to cut it in half because I wanted more lobster than what the recipe called for. It called for 1.5 cups. And I wanted at least 1.5 cups just for a half serving, or I mean, half the recipe. So, the lobster tail.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Oh, I'm making it my cocktail first. And then, but we have a comment. So Tyson has joined us tonight. Tyson says, modifying mac and cheese to not have the cheese. Exactly. Only Mike would do that. So it's great to see you, Tyson. We haven't seen you before. And if anybody else wants to comment and share, we love that. So the first cocktail I'm going to make tonight is a spritzer. And it's a limoncello spritzer. I know a lot of, some people like lighter cocktails, don't like to have too much alcohol. So I'm going to make a spritzer. A spritzer is basically a traditional highball. And if you've joined any of our shows before, you'll know that highballs are mixed in glasses. I'm actually going to use, traditionally it is mixed in a wine glass, but I'm also going to mix one in this is a Collins glass, just so that, just to shake things up a little bit. And so let me just show you the recipe here so that you see what I'm doing. So the limoncello spritzer, you can get over here a little closer so you can get in. So the lemon spritzer, we're going to start by putting in the 2 ounces of limoncello, and I'm just going to put 2 ounces in each glass.
What proof did you think that came out to be when you
I think
made that
when
up?
I'm mixed it up. I was going for about 28% alcohol, so it's somewhere. I have the mathematical formula. There's actually a mathematical formula to figure out how much water and sugar to put in to get the proof you want. So I was going for like a 28% proof. I'm gonna hide this recipe. So it is the 2 ounces of limoncello, 1 ounce of sparkling wine, and 3/4 ounce of club soda. So I'm just gonna hide that just so that you can see Mike. And actually Gracie is gracing us with her presence tonight. She has not been on the show for the last few shows, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with her.
Well, we think she wants her own show.
Yes.
But we're not doing that.
So we're going to just mix the 3/4 ounce of club soda. And when this is done and when it's made, you can always add more club soda to the mix. And then, as I mentioned on the last show, I really just discovered these and I absolutely love it. Because I used to avoid cocktails with sparkling wine because I did not want to open up a whole bottle of wine to make a spritzer or a cocktail. But you can buy these little splits at the grocery. Like I bought this Corbel. I think next time I'm going to buy a Cava or a Prosecco, something that's a little bit better. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this brand, but I really recommend buying these splits because it's great for making your spritz cocktails. And so we're just going to do an ounce of this. Now, in these, as I mentioned before, highballs are really self-mixing. You don't really need to stir a highball. As you add the ingredients, they will come together. Oh, the other tip is I actually mix in the glass and then I put the ice in. So we are going to do that, and then I already put the club soda in. So that is basically it. And now we're going to take the ice and we're just going to fill the glasses. And I think, as I mentioned in our highball show, like this Collins glass is a couple ounces taller than a traditional highball. So you can actually do bigger pours in these glasses than what I'm doing. Yeah, these specs that I make are like bar specs, which most of them they have a limit as to how much alcohol they can put in. So if you're making them at home, feel free to imbibe. Now this takes a lemon wheel garnish.
Orange wheel.
An orange wheel. I always get my citruses mixed up. Orange wheel. That's why Mike is here to correct me whenever I make a mistake. And then
we don't have time for all of those corrections.
And then I think as I love my glass straws, so I'm just going to put a glass straw in this drink because I find sometimes it's easier to drink a spritzer out of a glass straw. So this is the limoncello spritzer. It's a great refreshing drink in the summer. It's just light alcohol. And you can drink them all day around the pool, or just if you love lemon. Our son Jake absolutely loves lemon. So when he was back for the holidays, I made tons of different variations on limoncello cocktails. One I named the Lemon Thang because that's what he ended up saying was whenever he doesn't drink much, and so once in a while he'll have a cocktail. One day he comes in and he goes, "Mom, can you make me one of those lemon things?" And so that's why I have that cocktail.
Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
Nice job.
Thank you. Now you can talk about the lobster thing and how
I don't want to talk about
prepared.
that. I'm just going to drink this. So how you doing, Tyson? How's everything going?
Oh yeah, we got some comments here. Let's just say, so Michelle Jarvis, Heath and Cara are the best.
Absolutely.
Here's Mike Pelrine. Hi, Mike. Hello, Pelrines.
How are you guys doing?
Can't wait to start
Singing.
when the Mike and Betsy show or Plymouth Fury starts showing up again. Mike Sleeper says, you guys looking great, especially in the Frizy Corner Bar shirt.
Oh, this isn't a shirt.
That's not his, but this is. And we did place an order. It's going to be in next week. So for those of you that ordered t-shirts. I'll be able to send them off to you next week. And if you didn't, I ordered extra. So if you're interested. And then what's Mike Sleeper say here? Hemingway was always ordering splits in Paris. A movable feast. How lost generation of you. Wow, I love you. You know, we think these are new ideas. There's never any new ideas.
Yeah, we're just reinventing them and rehashing them a little bit. So
Jane, hello. Cheers. Good to see you.
Hi, Jane.
And Tyson says, super, miss you, man. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I used to see Tyson.
Once I get that vaccination, I should be back in the pool and out on the weight floor as well. So Tyson, if you guys don't know, is personal trainer over at the Hanover YMCA. So yeah, we've been good friends for a long time.
And Mike used to go to the Y all the time, but he has not been out lately.
Not since the COVID. So
okay, so bring over the lobster tail. I'm gonna turn on the food cam here.
Okay. So
right there. Okay. Perfect.
Excellent. So this is let's see, this lobster was 2.24 pounds, I believe. And what we did is, I don't know if you can see this here, the shell is split. Took our heavy duty kitchen scissors and we just slice down through, and then at the back you make a cross here, so it's basically like a cross. And then you take your finger and then you kind of work it in to free the meat out of the lobster shell. And then you kind of just put your finger underneath and pop it up. And then I call it the poop chute. You pull that out, and then we rinsed it off. And then right here, and dried it, obviously, yes. And then right here is some melted butter, garlic, and lemon zest.
And salt.
And salt. So we're just going to take that and just kind of brush that. Just get a nice, good helping on there. You want some cheese? I have extra cheese. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into the oven. It's basically 1 minute for every ounce. And this is about a 6.5 ounce tail, even though it was a 2.25 pound lobster. So I'm going to pop this in underneath the broiler. And I have just a few minutes left on the lobster mac and cheese. And I'll pull that out, and you guys can take a look at that. Unfortunately, you won't be able to sample it, but I will, let you know how it is. And what I plan on serving, well, I'll get into that later.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Great. So now I'm on to my favorite, which is a limoncello martini. This is actually, whenever we go out to eat, when we used to go out to eat, and you'd be looking at the menu and they didn't have any inspiring cocktails on the menu. I always order a limoncello martini. So again, we're going to use this homemade limoncello. One of the things about this limoncello that I made, there is a very botanical note to this. It tastes almost like a little lavender or something botanical.
Flowery, yeah.
Yeah, it's very flowery. When I always make the spec drinks on Tuesdays so that we decide whether or not it's going to be a good cocktail or not. Mike tasted it and he wanted to know if I used gin in it because it was so.
I did. I was like, did you use that gin that we have, that Restoration gin? And she goes, no, it's just vodka in this. And my brother actually said the same thing about the limoncello, because we made this and sent some of these out, and we gave some of these away. And I sent some down to him, and he loved it. He loved the grapefruit one even more. Now,
yeah, that one I have not made. I think maybe tomorrow we might try this same recipe with the grapefruit. So now this is 1.5 ounces of vodka. Oh, let me pull up the recipe. And as always, I'm making 2, so I'm going to put 3 ounces in. Let me show the recipe since we went through the trouble of making it. Okay, so it's 1.5 ounces of vodka. and 1.5 ounces of the limoncello. And then we're going to put 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. I'm remembering that I'm working with lemons, not limes. And last weekend, I don't know if anybody saw it, but last weekend I actually experimented. I started an experiment with ways to preserve citrus and lemon. I created a short little like impromptu video, which is also on our website, because I found that Mike would, since we've been doing these shows, Mike will go to Trader Joe's, or I went to Aldi's this week, and we buy big bunches of lemons and limes just because they're so much cheaper than buying the singles in the store. And I was finding and we were keeping our fruit, out in a bowl, and they were just drying up and getting brown spots. And I was like, we're throwing away way too much citrus. So I'd spent the week kind of researching ways to preserve citrus, and watched several different YouTube videos, and there were 3 different methods, and I test out 4 different methods. So it's going to be interesting because I'm going to keep them stored in the refrigerator downstairs for a month, and then in a month I'll let you know which method I think is actually the best way for storing. And so this is 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. As always, you want to fresh squeeze it and strain it. You really don't want the pulp, you just want the lemon juice. So because this is a cocktail with juice in it, we are going to shake it. But before I shake it, I'm going to prepare, so I have my chilled coupe glasses. You can serve it in a martini glass. We don't really have martini glasses. We have coupe glasses, and I have some stemless glasses, only because they would always get broken. So for some reason, I feel like they're top heavy or something. That, or else we just drank way too many martinis. So I'm going to fill my shaker with ice. And then we are going to give this a shake. And now Mike walked away. Now last week I had a hard time getting the shaker apart. So hopefully he had to help me out. So hopefully I don't have that same problem.
I'm back. Sorry, getting a little smoky in here.
It is.
Hopefully that's not too noisy.
Whoops, I just did it. Okay, and then use your Hawthorne strainer, which is a strainer with a spring, and a tea strainer or a fine mesh strainer. This will get any ice particles or any citrus pulp, because you want a nice clean cocktail. And then this cocktail is garnished with a lemon twist. So, and I think I showed last week my channel knife. So I just want to, so here's your limoncello martini. But I just wanted to do a quick comment. I got this for Christmas. I love this channel knife. You just take it and, just run it across the citrus, and it just does a nice job of pulling off just a nice little twist. So if you don't have a channel knife, I recommend it's a good tool to have. Okay, so do we have any more comments? No more comments. So why don't you come over, babe?
Okay.
What do you got going? But first, let's do this.
Yes. Ooh. No sugar rim?
No sugar rim. Cheers.
Cheers. Love you. Cheers, everyone.
I think last week when we did the sidecar, I talked about a sugar rim. Really, sugar rim, I recommend never getting a sugar rim for 2 reasons. First, A well-balanced drink is sweet enough. And the sugar rim just adds a ton of sugar into that drink, which you really don't need. And two, sugar rims, I always find, like, they like just melt down the glass. They make the stem all sticky, and then you're sitting there, you know, having a nice cocktail with your sticky hands in a restaurant. And it's like, it's not for me. So I recommend avoiding the sugar rim.
Same with me, because all I do is get a big sticky mess, and I don't like that. So,
And this is a really good cocktail. I'll tell you, that limoncello, I think that's going to become a holiday tradition, is making my own limoncello. I can't honestly say it is a cheaper alternative to buying, you know, store-bought limoncello, because you can get a good limoncello for like, you know, $20 a bottle. So I'd say making it is probably, you know, but it's a labor of love. And you can't get near these tastes in there. What happened? Oh, you're supposed to show the whole show.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Sorry,
That's
sorry.
okay. It's supposed to be served on the show.
Shelf.
That's the whole
Well,
drama of it.
I know, and I was going to do that, but the problem is the lobster popped out of the shell and was laying off to the side. And anyway, so my fault.
Let me turn the key on.
Yes, so this is not, my dinner is not complete. And what I mean by that is I have broccoli that I'm sauteing that will go on here. It's just not quite there yet. So what I did is I made up a mixed green tossed salad with some blue cheese, arugula, romaine lettuce, carrots, celery, crumbled dry blue cheese. And this is that huge lobster tail. Like,
I know.
anyway.
I'm going to be stuffed.
Yeah, she's going to be so full. We'll probably split.
Okay.
This is the lobster mac and cheese that I made.
They saw it.
No,
Do you want to put it back on?
I want them to see it. Let's see it. So there is a ton of lobster in here. And I saved one last claw to lay across. So we'll be serving this up, salad with broccoli. The wine that...
Okay. Can I take it off camera now?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
The wine that, hopefully you guys can see this.
We should go up the other camera.
Yeah. Yeah, would you mind?
Yeah.
Okay. This wine here is a really nice, it's a French Chardonnay, which in the US we call Chardonnays. In France they call it Chablis. And it is Soleil Vente Ame, which is sun, wind, and soul. So it's three elements. Kelly Brennan Dwight recommended this wine. She thought this would go excellent. She's a representative for Scout and Cellar. So we're anxious to try that. This lobster mac and cheese recipe I have posted up on PariseCornerBar.com. It's not my recipe, but it is a super good recipe. Sarah Welch developed this recipe. I want to give a couple of shout outs.
Sure.
Okay. We had some tile work done last week by Mark Sacco. He's a local guy, amazing artisan. If you're looking to have tile work done, he's the guy to call. If you're looking for his number, let me know. Send me a DM.
He came in and we've had issues with we have a shower upstairs that we had it all tiled in with this mosaic tile years ago. And we forever have had issues with the floor. And he came in and completely resolved that issue. He had actually done our other bathroom down here, and extremely reasonable. So highly recommend.
But the work is just over the top, and trust me,
He's
My fa-
meticulous.
Yeah, my family's been in the construction business for years, and this is amazing time. I want to say hi to Matt down at Superior Seafoods. And I want to give a shout out to an old Missouri boy that I went to high school with, Fred Barnhart. I've known him since I was about 4 years old, and I think he lives out in Beaufort, Missouri. Fred, hello. Long time no see. Thank you, Kelly, Brennan, Dwight, for recommending the wine. And then last but not least, this is the craziest thing ever. I get this box the other day, this nice box. And I open it up. It came from Pork King Good. I know, crazy name, right?
I'll put it
It's
on
pink sea salt and vinegar pork rinds. So these.
And I will say, being on this keto diet that I am, I love pork rinds. And for the longest time, they were hard to find. I have no idea how somebody knew the Friesies were looking for pork rinds.
We don't know where they came from. We don't know who sent them. It came in a box that was really well built, had the pork.
They are delicious.
Yes,
Oh
amazing. And there's no carbs in them. 5 grams of fat per serving, which is really low. And it's not high in sodium, but the flavor
is delicious.
And
actually on the back, there's all kinds of recipes you can do with them. So I told Mike, I said, we need to do a show on pork rinds.
So anyway, we may be ordering some of those, but if anybody out there sent those to us, please let us know, because we'd like to thank you. And it's just crazy though. This box shows up. I open it. Shannon, you order this? No, you order it. So anyway. Okay, I guess that's all that we have tonight. Please like, share, and comment. We're always looking for suggestions. If somebody would like to be
on the show, we were supposed to have a guest bartender tonight, but she wasn't able to connect. She had some other obligations. But I think we follow some bartending sites, so I think we might be able to get some guest bartenders. So we are looking for guest bartenders or chefs. Or even if you have, some product or service or something you want to promote, we love, supporting the community. So please join us. Thank you as always.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Love you.